The D.I.D VX3 is the gold standard when it comes to adventure motorcycle chains. In this video, I'm going to be installing the chain on my DR650 and new sprockets. I have some new bolts, and I'm also going to be testing out the Warp 9 chain and sprocket tool removers and using the PBR chain tool in order to put the rivets on the new chain. Let's take the chain out and see what it looks like here. It comes wrapped. This will be my first time ever putting a gold chain on a bike. It's gorgeous. Especially from certain angles. Here is the master link that it comes with. Alright, so the first thing, this sprocket has been on this bike for 20,000 miles. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is spraying some PB Blaster where the sprocket connects to the cush drive. I'm going to be doing this on both sides. There, now I can get the ones that were covered up by my swing arm. I'm not going to be shy with this stuff either. On the stock DR, you're looking for a 6mm Allen key on this side and a 12mm for the other side. Make sure your tool's on there very well and that you've soaked these down with Blaster before you've gotten going. Because the last thing we want to do is strip something. Alright, got that one loose. 4, 5, 6. That one's loose too. Alright, everything's loose. The next step is going to remove the chain sprocket cover or the case saver in my case. Absolutely gross. I'm going to set this aside to clean it up later. Alright, so now I need to break the chain. I'm not going to bog down in how to use the PBR tool because there's already several really good videos about that, and it comes with a really good instruction manual. And this is not the stock bolt, I lost it, but you can just replace that with a regular bolt, it works the same. There's usually a lot of force and then you can break through and then it gets easier. Alrighty, that's the first part of the first one. I'm going to go a little more. Now the little block tends to get stuck for some reason. So maybe I do something wrong. It gets stuck with me. Dang, it's really stuck. Now we can pull the old chain off. Now it's time to jack up the rear wheel and take it on off. Don't forget to loosen your rear wheel before you jack it up. Now let's take our cush drive off from our wheel. And now is going to be a great time to clean up all of this junk. But first let's get the old sprocket off. I believe I'm going to try to clean these up in some dish soap. I'm going to set these aside to clean these up. First, let's go ahead and get this sprocket off. This should be relatively easy because we already loosened them up while it was on the bike. Now the next obvious question is, when do you need to replace a chain anyway? Well, a good rule of thumb is around 20,000 miles, plus or minus 5 or 10, depending on how well you maintain it. But there are a few telltale signs that can kind of tell you if the chain is wearing out. First is excessive chain noise. If it's making a lot of racket, it's probably time to change it out. The next thing you want to look for is frozen links. If the chain just constantly needs lubrication, or the links freeze up just instantly, that means the chain's probably on its way out. And then last but not least, if you manage to wear a chain completely out, it'll start to stretch in the last bits of its life. So if you find yourself having to constantly adjust the chain and facing a lot of chain stretch, it's time to replace it. So now I'm going to take some time and I'm going to clean up my chain hub here. And I'm also going to take off this front sprocket here and then give this whole area a thorough cleaning. It definitely needs it. It does go a certain way, the way it came off, without being cheeky. So it goes with these outside bits, the bigger holes facing outside. I have new bolts, which I'm going to put in, and they already have a Loctite applied to them, so it should be good to go. Alright, with everything snugged up now, I'm going to tighten them, really snug them up, doing the same thing, taking them in a cross pattern. Looks so nice, much better. Alright, so cush rubbers back in their hubs. Beautiful. Cush hub back on the rear wheel. Rear wheel back on the bike. Alright. Leave this loose for now so we can slide the wheel forwards and backwards. Alright, so I added a little bit of grease. I mean, just a smear, little surface layer. Then I'm going to put my sprocket on and tighten, get them all semi-snug, and then tighten them down. If you don't have a feel for it, use a torque wrench. If you have a feel for it, probably use a torque wrench anyway. It's just how I do it. I just kind of feel. I'm taking off this rear chain guide too, because I got a new one from Warp 9, so let me get it off. Alright, that's all off now. So now it's time to put the new chain on. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to be almost slammed, which is what I want. It's not completely slammed. Close to slammed. Yeah, this is going to be perfect. Alright, so let's get this master link cut open. And this is the press type master link, so I'm going to have to press it on. Now, all of this is sealed, but this last link we're about to seal. So I managed to get like a little dirt here, and then I had to wipe off a little grease. So I'm going to reapply grease here and make sure this is spotless, which is why I just took off the gloves. Alright, so going to reapply grease to this one here. So I'm going to grease these things up real good. So the O-rings go either way. They're the same both sides, so one O-ring here, one O-ring here. Let me look at it from the other side and make sure everything is looking good. So you want to get lined up just right. So those are right where they should be. That way just looking at it really tight. You want to make sure that the O-rings are pressed up and sealing. I'm actually going to take it off and see what it's looking like and then put it back on. Like I said, I'm in no rush. Yep, it's nice and even with the other ones. Now this chain has a circle in it, so you can get the rivet just right on top of the ball very easily. I'm just going to, once again, take my time with it. Alright, so I screwed up and I had my tool set backwards, this block set backwards, so it pushed the rivet in backwards, and then I tried to push it back and it locked up. Anywho, that doesn't matter. What does matter is to, whenever you're having a chain, have an extra master link or two. Now these happen to be silver, same type, just silver instead of gold. What matters is this will run and I'll get my bike back. But yeah, that's it. Thank y'all for watching, and tune in next week. I'm going to be changing the wheel bearings out. Till then.